What's going on, everybody? So today, in today's video, we're going to touch on a subject that I see brought up in pretty much every single comment of every one of the fabrication videos that I do, and that comment is, what does it cost? What did that project cost? How much does it cost? And what are the monetary costs involved in each one of these projects? Well, we're going to touch on that today. The actual cost of custom fabrication may seem high. And no doubt it is. As compared to stuff you can buy off the shelf, it's definitely much higher. Now, the thing I get a lot is, what does that cost? And then when I give the cost, somebody goes, wow, that's a lot of money. Now, the cost per project is going to be arbitrary. You can see we have a bunch of different materials here. We're going to go over that in a minute. But I just kind of wanted to touch on some of the things inherent with custom fabrication that drive the cost up so high. Now, to give you a frame of reference, you can go online, you can go to Amazon, you can go to your favorite car website, and you can buy a custom mandrel bent stainless steel exhaust, let's just say catback, for $600. So then you come to me and you say, hey Justin, I'd like for you to build a custom exhaust for my car, catback, I want it to be 3-inch tubing, and I want V-bands everywhere. You're already looking at a $1,500 exhaust system. So whereas you would spend $600, now you're more than doubling the cost. Then you say, hey, I want to do an exhaust system without V-bands because I want to save money. Okay, well now you're down to about $1,200 for a basic 2-bolt flange, catback, 3-inch exhaust. Now still, double the cost of what you can buy online. Now here's where the difference comes in. There are certain costs associated with custom fabrication that a lot of people don't realize. Now, first things first is that in custom fabrication, it is exactly that. It is custom and it is fabrication. Now, the custom part of it means that there is nothing available on the market that is being mass produced that meets your needs. Therefore, you need a fabricator like myself to manufacture that particular part or piece or system or whatever it may be. The reason you came to me in the first place was because you couldn't find anything that matched your exact specifications. Now, being that you are getting a custom one-off piece, the cost associated with that is going to be much higher than if you buy an exhaust system that has been mass-produced in the hundreds of thousands. And also, too, the materials that are used in a lot of mass-produced items are not at the quality that we're using when we're doing custom fabrication here. And I put this stuff out here just as kind of for an example. All of this material here is either Tycon Industries with the titanium, Vibrant with the piping, and just some basic aluminum stuff that I bought from one of my suppliers. Now, what you're going to see on these different pieces of material as I pick them up and show you is that even in the high-end, high fabrication market, there are going to be different levels of quality as well that will also affect price. Now, what we have here, the first piece that we have here, is actually an oval piece of 3.5-inch, which is equivalent to 3-inch round, 3.5-inch oval piping. Now, this tubing is made by Vibrant and is actually very expensive. In the lines of, let's just say, a 5-foot length of straight oval 3.5 inches, about $200 retail. So for 5 feet of this stuff, you're paying $200. Now you add in other materials, transitions from flat to round. You've got all of your clamping mechanisms, all of your hanging mechanisms, all of that, and you start getting very, very pricey very, very fast. This one bend alone is almost $100 for this particular bend. Now then next to that we have our aluminum, and aluminum is fairly cheap. This happens to be a piece of Vibrant aluminum, 2.5-inch, so it's actually really, really nice, but aluminum stuff is a lot cheaper than stainless. However, it does require a whole different skill set to manipulate, cut, weld, everything else, so you have to know how to do that as well. This is a piece of Vibrant stainless steel straight tubing. Now this stuff is about, for a 3-inch, it's about $100, give or take, for a 5-foot length of it. And then, of course, we have our 3-inch mandrel bend from Vibrant. Now, where I want to show you the quality differences, I wish I had a piece of Stainless Bros stuff. Now, I always use Stainless Bros stuff unless I need the stuff overnight, and then I use Vibrant. Now, Vibrant is actually a very high quality 304 stainless steel. However, if you're going for a build where your stainless is going to be visible and you want it to look as good as it possibly can, then having a piece of tubing like this, which I hope you can see in the pictures, you can see all of the draw marks from the mandrel bender in here. So every single one of these draw marks in here technically looks like an imperfection in the stainless. It's not a very good looking stainless. It is a very high quality stainless, a very good high quality 304 stainless, but it's not the greatest looking in the world. Now, Stainless Bros takes a lot of pride in not only making a very, very high quality 304 stainless to where they're actually monitoring every process of the manufacturer, including what levels of what metals go into their stainless. They also make sure that their stainless is beautiful when it leaves the factory. It comes packaged individually. It's just an overall better looking stainless. So if you've got something that's going to be on display, such as a car that you're taking to SEMA, or you've got a vehicle that you're taking somewhere that they're going to see every bit of the fabrication, then you're going to want to go with something like Stainless Bros, which is a much more refined level of stainless steel. And once you go past stainless steel, you reach into titanium. Titanium is where it gets really, really expensive. That same catback exhaust that would have cost you, let's just say $1,200, with titanium is now going to cost you $2,500 plus. And titanium, you can see this is Tycon Industries, which is also the same company as Stainless Bros. Their titanium is flawless. It's light, it's flawless. This is a 2.5-inch piece. We did this on Jimmy Oak's 300ZX project where he put the SR20 in it. But again, phenomenal, phenomenal fit and finish and quality. Now that all factors into what does something cost. There are tons upon tons upon tons of Chinese manufacturers of stainless steel. Vibrant, actually 10 years ago, Vibrant was all in-house made. It was all amazing stuff. Their quality, the fit and finish was beautiful. And then from what I hear, I haven't been able to actually confirm this, but I've seen it myself, the quality of their product has gone down significantly. And by that I mean their mandrel bends, you can't see it on video, but it's perfectly round here. But as you make this bend, it actually flattens out a bit and then it ovals. So if I cut this bend in the middle, it's not going to be perfectly round, it's going to be oval. And that just started happening a few years back, or a couple years back. Whereas the Stainless Bros stuff, they're completely round all the way through the bend, which is amazing. There's no distortion whatsoever. So moving on to more of where the cost comes from. Again, let's go back to the fact that you're making a one-off piece. Now that one-off piece, there is no jig, there is no pattern, there is no template. So every piece of that particular system that you're building has to be designed. And it's usually designed the way that I like to do it anyways. I design them on the car. I'll either use scrap pieces to design the bends I need, or I'll use other pieces of metal, or I'll use plastic, or even sometimes PVC piping, just to prototype the actual product. Now, with a one-off product, you usually go through a design phase, then a prototyping phase, then a fit-up phase, a final welding phase, a final hanging phase, and then ultimately your finished product. So this isn't, you place your order on Amazon, the part comes in the mail, you bolt it up, and you go. This is literally a week-long project of building an exhaust system from scratch that never existed before. Excuse me. Now, in some cases, if everything goes as planned and everything goes super smooth, where we've got, 5 foot length of straight pipe, 3 or 4 different bends to get out to a muffler, and a muffler at the end, you're looking at a $1,200 exhaust system. Add in V-bands, you're at $1,500 to $1,800. Add in oval piping, you're at $2,000 to $2,200. Make it titanium, you're looking at $3,000. So it goes up depending on materials choices. It goes up depending on level of difficulty. As many of you saw in the Club Sport, that particular exhaust had not necessarily a high level of difficulty, but a high level of modification because there was already an existing system that was bought, and the existing system had to be modified to fit the new custom fabricated section that was built, along with having to custom machine flanges for the Super Sprint headers because they didn't exist. So cost of that goes up and up and up and up as things go on because you're running into other issues that need to be done. So it's not just as simple as, hey, take a length of pipe, cut it up, weld it, throw it on the car, send it on its way. In all actuality, the Club Sport job that I just did normally would have taken me a week of working, 4 to 5 hours a day on it, depending on how perfect everything needed to be. Now, I managed to cram the Club Sport into about a 20-hour session of going crazy. So if you figure, if I'm working on the thing 4 hours a week or 4 hours a day for a week, it's about 20 hours, 20 to 25 hours. So you look at the labor cost on that. Now, my labor costs here are pretty average. It's about $100 an hour. So you're looking at 20 hours of labor. That would be about $2,000 plus materials. So you're at about $2,500 to $3,000 for an exhaust system that was similar to the Club Sport exhaust. Intricate work. So on average, a job like that, you're looking at anywhere from $1,800 to $2,500, depending on how much modification needs to be done to the existing system, or if we're making a full custom system all the way back. It's all very dependent. So now you have your materials cost. We've gone over that. You have your labor cost. We've gone over that. You also have your design cost, your prototyping cost, and everything else that goes along with that. Now, when I say prototyping, I have a perfect example of this. So this piece here looks funky, but this was a piece that I prototyped, hence why the welds are so garbage and the metal's crap. But this was a piece that I prototyped for a customer a few years ago. It was going to be a combination of a radiator overflow tank as well as a catch can. So it'd be an oil catch can on this side, a radiator overflow on this side, and it all fits in the stock location of an EK Civic battery. So you take the battery out, put it in the trunk, you put this in its place, and you get both your radiator overflow as well as your catch can. Now, I was doing that for a customer of mine. Built the prototype. I spent about 2.5 hours or so designing it in my 3D software. We built the prototype, came up with a cost for the final product, being that this is a one-off and it doesn't exist anywhere else. Final cost for the product was about $325, and that included all the design work, all the time, all the labor, everything else. Once he found out the cost, he completely bailed on the project. He said, that is entirely too much money for a catch can. I'll just go buy an overflow tank and I'll go buy one of these off of eBay, and end of story. So my time on that was now for free. I built this prototype for absolutely nothing. That's where a lot of the other inherent costs come from, is that we spend a lot of time putting together quotes and putting together systems and doing the research to have people go, wow, I didn't think it was going to be that much money. I'm going to have to back out. So there are a lot of factors in this. And when we see the comments on the YouTube channel that say, hey, what does that cost? And I don't answer them directly, is because I really don't know. I can't give you an arbitrary cost, because I could give you a $1,200 estimate for an exhaust system and you could bring the car down and the car's got all the exhaust hangers cut off of it. It's got headers on it that I've never seen before that need to have custom flanges made. You want it tucked up so high because your car scrapes the ground and you want, an oval exhaust. Well, that's going to be more money. So custom fabrication, if you guys or any of you guys are going into a fabricator, whether it be myself or someone else that you use and trust, just know that anything that is custom and one-off is going to be pricey. It's not going to be cheap. And if it's cheap, it's not going to be good. That's the other issue, is the types of stainless that I use, whether it be Vibrant or Stainless Bros or Burn Stainless or any one of those guys, those are the top manufacturers of stainless steel products. I won't use anything else. And I refuse to, because When you go and you buy your T304 stainless system from eBay for $67 and it's a catback, half the time you're getting aluminized, mild steel, not stainless. Or you're getting stainless that's only 45 thousandths thick instead of 65 thousandths thick, which is what I use. Or you're getting some other version of stainless that has no quality control whatsoever. That, and I'm sure we've all seen it, you put an exhaust system on your car, you look under it 2 years later, and it's rusted. And you're like, well, wait a minute, stainless doesn't rust. Well, if the contents were incorrect, it will rust. It won't rot, but it'll rust, and it'll have a very terrible look to it. And as a matter of fact, let me grab a piece right now, and I'll show you. So this is a piece of 304 stainless. Now you can see how crappy that looks up against these pieces here. This is all stainless steel, but it is a very, very crappy stainless steel. So therefore you get all kinds of surface oxidation and what appears to be rust in some of the actual bends. But it's solid. It's not rotted, but it's rusted and it looks like shit. So you want to be very wary of that when you're buying your stainless steel products. You need to make sure that everything is good. So then the last thing that I want to talk about in this video, because it's already starting to get pretty long, is that your fabricator probably has somewhere in the lines of $30,000 worth of equipment to do your fabrication. All of those pieces, like myself, I have, basically an $8,000 welding rig. I have, another couple grand in grinders and sanders and saws. And then I have, the Bridgeport, which is anywhere from a $2,000 to a $10,000 machine. Then I have the lathe, which again is the same, $2,000 to $10,000 machine, depending on what you get. All of those things have to be paid for. So if I'm utilizing all of those machines and I'm buying all this good product and I'm taking 10 to 20 hours to build each one of these custom products, there's going to be a cost associated with that. But also understand that if you find a good fabricator, the part that is fabricated for you is going to hold up for the life of that vehicle. You will never have a problem with it. You won't have anything banging around or bouncing around or ill-fitting, or everything is going to be perfect. So if you want to buy your $67 exhaust off eBay, go for it. But I guarantee you it's not going to fit. And I also guarantee you're going to have to take it to a fabricator to have it fixed so that it fits correctly. And I can also guarantee you that the materials are going to rust like that particular set of material did. And yeah, so I mean, you know what, guys? When you ask the question, I try to answer it as best I can, but I don't know the whole scenario. And even when I'm quoting out jobs, I don't like to quote jobs unless I can physically see the car and physically know what we need to do. So it's almost one of those things where you have to go into it with a budget in mind and tell your fabricator what your budget is, and this way he can give you the options that you have. If you want a full custom exhaust and you have a $400 budget, you're not going to get anywhere with that at all. I mean, you won't even get materials for that. If you go into your fabricator and say, hey, listen, I have a $2,000 budget, but I want to keep it on the low end as possible, then you know what? We can work from there. We can go with a different level of stainless, or maybe 2.5 inch versus 3 inch, or V-bands versus 2-bolt clamps, or, it all depends. We can work with that. But just know that a full custom exhaust system, on average, for a single 3 inch is going to be about $1,200 to $1,500. And again, like I said, when you're going in for custom fab, it is a one-off piece that doesn't exist anywhere else. Otherwise, you would buy it, and it would be cheaper. So it's not more of a rant or anything. I just would hope to try to educate you guys a little bit on why custom fabrication seems to be so expensive, and why it is that when you drop your car off and you have a manifold made, it was $2,500. All of the things in here kind of make that the case. So, all right, guys, this video is already 20 minutes long. I'm going to let you go because I know you guys hate the talking videos. I just wanted to get that out there. I hope you guys understand. I hope you guys, have some questions for me. Please, in the comments, ask me whatever questions you have. I'll be more than happy to answer them. I answer all my comments. Thanks for watching this video. I'll catch up with you guys on the next one. Have a great and safe Memorial Day. And again, thanks to every one of you guys and everyone in this great country who has served through our U.S. military. It is much appreciated from me and everyone else around me. So have a great Memorial Day, guys, and I'll see you later.